You could be losing money every single day, and not because of your job, your spending habits, or your luck. It could be your front door. That's right. The very entrance to your home might be the silent reason why wealth keeps slipping through your life. While you're working late, budgeting carefully, and chasing opportunities, something as simple as a blocked pathway, a wrong-facing mat, or a poorly lit porch could be canceling it all out. This isn't just superstition, it's strategy. Because in the homes of the wealthy, the front door is never just a door. It's a calculated energy point, a trigger, a filter. And once you see how they treat it, you'll realize why your own success may have been stalling right at the threshold. Have you ever walked past a house and just felt something, like the energy was calm, open, quietly powerful? That's no accident. Wealth doesn't wander into those homes. It's invited, deliberately, intentionally. And the trick isn't complicated. It's something you can apply starting today without renovating your whole house or buying expensive charms. Just a few subtle changes at the front door can shift everything. So before you chase another dollar, before you hustle harder or blame the economy, stop and look at the place where your day begins and ends. Is your front door attracting prosperity or quietly pushing it away? Number 1. A door facing the wrong way turns fortune backwards. You might have the perfect resume, a thriving side hustle, and a financial plan that would impress any advisor. But if your front door faces the wrong direction for your personal energy, you're fighting an uphill battle every single day. The truth is, success doesn't just depend on what you do, it depends on what energy you allow into your life. And that energy enters through one single point, your front door. In Feng Shui, the front door is known as the mouth of Qi, the primary gateway through which life force, opportunity, wealth, and even your physical health flow into the home. It's not just symbolic, it's energetic. When your door faces a direction that clashes with your natural energy profile, everything becomes harder. Money flows inconsistently, career growth slows down, and even your sleep and relationships can begin to feel off without a clear reason. Let's make this real. Have you ever had that frustrating feeling where you're doing everything right, but nothing sticks? You land interviews, but the jobs don't come. You make money, but it vanishes as quickly as it arrives. You try to fix your surroundings, clean, declutter, redecorate, but something still feels heavy. That's not coincidence. It's energetic resistance. And more often than not, it starts with the direction your front door faces. Feng Shui recognizes that every person belongs to one of two main energy groups, east or west. Within each group, there are 4 favorable directions that support your flow, and 4 that weaken it. If your door opens toward a direction that harmonizes with your energy group, it acts like a welcoming hand, pulling in opportunities, stabilizing your finances, and making life feel well aligned. But if it opens toward a direction that conflicts with your energy group, it acts like a leaky faucet, draining momentum, disrupting focus, and scattering your efforts like leaves in the wind. This isn't a vague theory. Wealthy families who apply Feng Shui don't leave their door direction to chance. They often hire consultants, not just to beautify their space, but to ensure that their front door channels energy that matches their family's long-term goals. They know a well-placed entrance doesn't just welcome guests, it welcomes fortune. For example, someone belonging to the East group thrives with a front door facing east, southeast, north, or south. These directions boost vitality, support growth, and open pathways for financial expansion. On the other hand, doors facing west or northwest for East group individuals create friction, block flow, and can lead to frequent setbacks, no matter how capable or motivated they are. But here's the challenge. Most homes aren't custom built to match your energy. In the US, especially in apartments or suburban developments, we often inherit whatever direction the architect chose. So what if your door faces the wrong way? Are you stuck with bad energy? Absolutely not. Feng Shui isn't about fear, it's about adaptation. There are subtle but powerful remedies that can correct the flow. One of the most effective is the strategic use of mirrors, crystals, or specific symbols placed just inside or outside the door to redirect and transform the incoming energy. It's not about superstition. It's about creating a physical cue for balance, a conscious correction that allows your space to support you rather than resist you. Another overlooked fix is lighting. If your door faces an unfavorable direction, placing a warm, upward-facing light near the entrance can soften harsh energy and lift the vibration of the space. Think of it like tuning a radio. You're adjusting the signal to come in clearly. And sometimes, even a minor adjustment, like placing a specific plant, object, or even changing the color of your doormat, can create enough energetic shift to turn chaos into clarity. But it all starts with awareness. Walk outside your home today and face your door. Ask yourself, which direction is it truly facing? Not just the street, but where does it actually open toward? East, west? Is it aligned with your energy group or pushing against it? That one question can change the way you see your space, and more importantly, how you move through life. Because when the energy at your door supports you, life doesn't feel so uphill. You stop second-guessing yourself. The tension eases. Money doesn't feel so hard to hold. And instead of feeling like you're running in circles, you start to feel guided, like the path ahead is opening, not closing. This isn't about magic. It's about subtle alignment. And in a world that moves fast and often feels chaotic, your home, starting with your front door, can become your most powerful ally, but only if it's facing the right way. Number 2, a dirty mirror reflects a cloudy future. You may think of your mirror as just a decorative piece, something to check your reflection before stepping out. But in Feng Shui, a mirror, especially one placed near the front door, acts as a magnifier of energy. It doesn't just reflect your image. It reflects intention, emotion, and flow. And when that mirror is dirty, cracked, or placed incorrectly, it doesn't just blur your face. It distorts the very energy you're trying to invite into your home. Wealth, clarity, peace, all of it can be quietly misdirected or blocked by something as seemingly harmless as a dusty piece of glass. Imagine starting your day by glancing into a streaked, smudged mirror. You might not consciously notice, but that visual noise creates subtle tension. It becomes a background static that you carry with you into your work, your choices, your interactions. Now imagine that same mirror is positioned directly opposite your front door. You might think it's reflecting light, making the space feel bigger. But energetically, it's doing something else entirely. It's bouncing energy right back out of your home. That includes prosperity, opportunities, even emotional stability. It's like opening a window to let warmth in, only to place a fan in front of it, blowing everything back outside. Wealthy homes rarely make this mistake. Their mirrors are intentional, clean, clear, and strategically placed to expand positive energy, not reject it. And more importantly, they understand that clarity in the mirror reflects clarity in life. A foggy mirror, on the other hand, reflects indecision, miscommunication, and financial confusion. It's not about being superstitious, it's about being mindful. Because when the most visible surface in your entryway is neglected, it sends a subtle but strong message. I'm not ready, I can't see clearly, I'm not aligned. One of the simplest yet most powerful actions you can take today is to clean your mirrors. Not just wipe them, but clean them with intention. Use warm water, a soft cloth, and while you're doing it, think about the clarity you want to bring into your finances, your goals, your relationships. Make it a quiet ritual, a way of saying, I'm clearing the fog, I'm opening the way. And if you do have a mirror facing your front door, reconsider its placement. Move it to a side wall where it can reflect abundance into the home, rather than sending it away. Or if the space feels too bare without it, replace it with something grounding, a peaceful painting, a calming quote, a symbol of strength. Let your walls speak encouragement, not confusion. In a culture obsessed with visibility, our social feeds, our appearances, our accomplishments, the idea of what we reflect takes on deeper meaning. So ask yourself, what is your mirror saying about your path? Is it showing you a future worth stepping into? Or is it fogged with patterns that no longer serve you? Because at the end of the day, a mirror doesn't just show what's behind you, it subtly shapes where you're headed next. Number 3, the wrong plant at the door blocks prosperity's path. You bought the plant because it looked nice. Maybe it was on sale at the garden center, maybe a friend gave it to you, or maybe it just made your porch feel finished. But here's a truth most people never consider. Not every plant belongs at your front door. In Feng Shui, plants are not just decor, they're energy conductors. The right one draws in fresh life, opportunity, and wealth. The wrong one, it quietly blocks the path of everything you're trying to build. Think about it. Your front door is where all energy, good or bad, enters your home. It's the beginning of your financial flow, your family dynamics, your personal grounding. And plants, by their very nature, either enhance or disturb that flow. A healthy, vibrant plant with round, lush leaves acts like an open hand. It welcomes, softens, nurtures. But a withering fern, a sharp-leaved cactus, or an overgrown shrub, those act more like walls than bridges. They don't invite prosperity, they deflect it. Now ask yourself this, what's currently sitting near your front door? Is it something growing toward the light, or collapsing inward, dry and forgotten? Does it open the space, or crowd it? In many homes, a plant that was meant to add life ends up becoming a source of silent resistance. Sharp edges, thorny leaves, or even plants placed directly in front of the entrance can create energetic blockages that make wealth harder to hold onto, and good news slower to arrive. This is especially true with popular, but misunderstood plants like cacti. While they're trendy and low maintenance, their spiky form carries a defensive energy. Placed near your entrance, they send a signal of caution and protection, not openness and trust. That might be great on a remote hiking trail, but it's not the message you want at the door of your home. You don't want to guard against life. You want to welcome it in. Wealth-conscious homes understand this instinctively. You'll often find soft, full-leafed plants like the jade plant, ZZ plant, or money tree near their entrances, each symbolizing growth, expansion, and thriving. These aren't just aesthetic choices. They're energetic statements. This home is alive, it's flourishing, and so are the people inside. It's not about buying a rare plant or turning your porch into a greenhouse. It's about being intentional. Choose plants that lift the space. Watch how they respond to light, to wind, to touch. A plant that always leans toward the sun is teaching you something. Reach, grow, expand. That's the kind of energy you want greeting your guests and your future. And if you already have a plant near your door, give it a moment of attention today. Water it, prune it, clear away dead leaves, or if it's beyond saving, let it go. There's nothing more energetically draining than holding onto something that once had life, but no longer does. A struggling plant doesn't just take up space, it quietly reflects the energy of neglect. In Feng Shui, front door plants are like gatekeepers. And just like any good gatekeeper, they either open the way or turn people away. So next time you walk up to your home, don't just look at the plant. Feel the energy it gives off. Does it say, welcome? Does it feel like breath, like motion, like invitation? Or is it tired, brittle, unsure? Because prosperity is always looking for a way in. The question is your door blocked or blooming? Number 4, cluttered entrances tell fortune to stay away. You may have the most beautiful decor, the coziest furniture, and a well-organized home. But if your entrance is cluttered, none of it matters. In Feng Shui, the front entrance is your home's energetic mouth. It's where life force enters, where luck begins to circulate, and where your intentions either get magnified or pushed back. So when this space is blocked by shoes, packages, recycling bins, forgotten jackets, it sends a very clear message to the universe. We're not ready to receive. Clutter doesn't just create visual chaos, it creates energetic resistance. Think about the feeling of walking into a hotel lobby that's clean, open, filled with light. Now compare that to walking into a tight hallway packed with boxes, shoes scattered around, or a messy entry bench. One experience feels expansive, welcoming, full of possibility. The other feels like a warning. You're entering disorganization, stagnation, confusion. It's the same with energy. A cluttered entrance becomes a bottleneck for fortune. Prosperity energy is subtle. It doesn't force its way in. It flows where it's invited. If the doorway to your home feels cramped, busy, or simply neglected, that flow gets interrupted. It's like trying to pour water into a glass that's already full of pebbles. There's no room left for anything new. And it's not just about mess. Sometimes it's the wrong furniture. Oversized shoe cabinets that block walking space. Storage bins stacked high, just temporarily but left for months. Delivery boxes that linger, a pile of umbrellas, even decor that's too large or heavy for the space can overwhelm the entrance. It may look fine to the eye, but to energy it's an obstacle course. Wealthy households tend to treat their entrances like sacred space. They keep them minimal but intentional. One clear path, one soft rug, maybe a calming plant or a welcoming symbol. Nothing excessive, nothing forgotten. It's not about perfection, it's about flow. The truth is, clutter speaks, and what it often says is, I don't have space. Not just physical space, but emotional space, mental space. Space for new clients, new opportunities, new relationships, new ideas. A cluttered entrance doesn't just make guests feel unwelcome, it makes prosperity feel like it's not wanted. The good news. This is one of the easiest Feng Shui blocks to fix. Today, right now, you don't need to buy anything or move walls. All you have to do is clear the way. Open your front door and stand where guests or blessings would enter. Look around. What's in their path? What feels out of place? What's been sitting there too long? Then start small. Remove anything that doesn't belong. Relocate storage bins. Recycle those boxes. Keep only what feels alive, intentional, or beautiful. And don't stop at eye level. Look down. A faded doormat sends a message too. Look up. Cobwebs around the doorway, burned out porch lights, those speak just as loudly. The entrance is a mirror. It reflects how ready you are to receive. Because prosperity isn't just about hard work and hustle. It's also about making space, for ease, for flow, for the next version of you to walk in the door. So ask yourself, if money knocked today, would it find a clear path, or would it turn away at the cluttered steps? Number 5, a mismatched doormat silently leaks wealth. You probably never gave your doormat much thought. It's just something to wipe your shoes on, right? But in Feng Shui, that humble piece of fabric is far more than a household convenience. It's a silent gatekeeper of energy. And if your doormat is mismatched, wrong color, wrong size, wrong placement, it might be quietly leaking the very wealth, clarity, and opportunity you're trying so hard to invite in. Think about what a doormat does. Every day it absorbs dirt from the outside world, but energetically it also absorbs intention, momentum, and energy flow. It's the first thing your home touches when you step inside. And what most people don't realize is this: the mat doesn't just receive energy, it either holds it or lets it slip away. A frayed, faded, or misaligned mat doesn't simply look tired, it says to the universe, this home is not paying attention. And when attention is lacking, so is retention of wealth, of ideas, of emotional peace. One of the most common Feng Shui mistakes is choosing a mat purely for design, without thinking of its energetic alignment. The color matters. The shape matters. The position matters. In fact, choosing a mat that clashes with your personal energy or element can subtly weaken your home's ability to retain abundance. For example, if your personal element is wood and your mat is bright red, a fire element color, that fire energy can exhaust your wood, leaving you energetically drained, anxious, or financially unstable. But a mat in green or black, colors that support and nourish wood energy, reinforces your foundation. You feel stronger, clearer, more stable. It's not superstition, it's resonance. Just like some music energizes you and other songs feel off, your environment either tunes you or throws you out of sync. Wealth-conscious households never choose their doormat randomly. Many of them even go a step further, placing 3 ancient coins underneath the mat, tied together with red thread. This old tradition symbolizes the harmony between heaven, earth, and humanity, and acts as a quiet magnet for good fortune. No one sees it, no one has to, but the energy remembers. Equally important is placement. Your mat should sit squarely, directly in front of the door, centered, flat, and inviting, not off to one side, not curled up at the edges, and definitely not partially hidden under a shoe rack. When a mat is uneven or askew, it subtly signals chaos, disruption, a welcome that's uncertain. Even if the rest of your home is beautifully arranged, a poorly placed mat creates a ripple of disorder the moment someone walks in. Now look at your current doormat. What condition is it in? Is it fresh or faded, aligned or crooked? Does the color complement your front door or clash with it? When you step on it, do you feel welcomed or rushed? These may seem like small details, but they add up. In Feng Shui, it's often the invisible energy around objects, not just the objects themselves, that shifts a space. The doormat is the first thing your guests touch, the first thing prosperity steps on, the first surface that energy meets. So ask yourself, what message is it giving? Is it filtering and holding good energy, or is it acting like a sieve, letting everything good slip away before it even enters? If something feels off in your home, if abundance feels elusive, if clarity seems harder to reach, don't overlook the entrance. Don't overlook the mat. Replace it with one that feels solid, grounded, aligned with who you are and what you're building. Choose a texture that feels comforting, a color that resonates with your core. Place it with care, clean it regularly, and if you're drawn to it, slip those 3 coins underneath. Because sometimes changing your future doesn't start with a leap. It starts with the small step you take through the front door. Number 6. No protective symbol equals fortune has no guard. Most people would never leave their front door wide open overnight. It feels unsafe, vulnerable, exposed. And yet millions of homes, maybe even yours, are left energetically unguarded every single day. Not because the lock is broken, but because there's nothing at the door that protects, grounds, or anchors the energy of the home. In Feng Shui, that kind of emptiness doesn't go unnoticed. It sends a subtle but powerful message. This space is unguarded, its energy is up for grabs. And when there's no gatekeeper, anything can walk in: stress, setbacks, scattered luck, even financial loss. Your front door is more than a threshold. It's your first line of energetic defense. It filters everything that enters: people, moods, opportunities, and yes, fortune. And when there's no object, no symbol, no intentional piece, there to stabilize and hold that energy, the door becomes vulnerable. Imagine a house with no porch light, no doormat, no plant, no decor, just a blank doorway. It may look clean or minimalist, but to energy it feels vacant, like no one's home emotionally or energetically. And vacant spaces attract imbalance. Wealth-minded homeowners don't make this mistake. They treat the entrance like a sacred point. You'll often find something, sometimes subtle, sometimes symbolic, placed with care. 3 coins tied with red string and tucked under the mat. A small pair of guardian lions on each side of the entry. A crystal hung from the awning. A wind chime just to the left of the door. A glowing lantern that stays lit every night. These aren't decorations, they're boundary setters, and boundaries in energy work aren't about pushing away. They're about deciding what gets to come in and what doesn't. If your front door has nothing, no symbol, no cue, no intentional presence, it's not neutral. It's open, and open spaces attract everything good and bad. Without a filter, you may find yourself constantly cleaning up after drama, fixing things that shouldn't have gone wrong, or wondering why your motivation and focus disappear as soon as you walk inside. But here's the beauty of Feng Shui. It's never too late to anchor your energy. You don't need expensive statues or exotic talismans. A simple wind chime, placed intentionally and at the right height, can break stagnant energy and invite lightness. A mirror, facing outward but hung high and with care, can reflect negativity before it crosses your threshold. Even a quartz crystal on a windowsill or near the doorframe can stabilize energy, helping you feel calmer, clearer, and more supported as soon as you arrive home. Light is also a powerful protector. If you don't have a porch light that stays on through the night, consider installing one. Use soft, warm bulbs, not harsh, cold ones. A consistently lit entrance not only improves safety, it strengthens the yang energy of your home, signaling warmth, presence, and readiness to receive. What matters most is intention. The protective symbol doesn't need to shout. It just needs to exist and to be placed with awareness. The message it sends is quiet but unmistakable. This home has a boundary, this space has guardianship, this family is protected. So ask yourself, what stands at your door? What welcomes in the good and filters out the rest? Because in Feng Shui, as in life, fortune needs direction. It doesn't just wander in, it needs to be invited and guarded. Number 7. A dark door at night keeps luck in the shadows. You might think leaving the porch light off saves energy or keeps things low profile. But in Feng Shui, a dark front door at night is more than a missed detail. It's a message. It tells the universe, this home is closed, this path is unclear, prosperity turn away. Just like humans need light to feel safe and oriented, energy needs light to flow in. When your entrance sits in darkness, luck doesn't pause, it passes by. Think about walking up to a house at night. One entrance is softly glowing, warm light spilling across the porch. The other is shadowed, barely visible, the door hidden in the dark. Which one feels more welcoming, more open, more ready to receive? Energy makes the same decision. It follows illumination. And a front door drenched in shadows slowly becomes a forgotten portal, one where good opportunities hesitate to knock. In Feng Shui, lighting isn't about brightness, it's about clarity. The front door is the mouth of qi, and like any mouth, it needs to be visible to function well. A dark entrance can accumulate stagnant or yin energy over time. It feels heavy, unmotivated, uncertain. You might not see it right away, but you'll feel it. Mornings are slower, decisions less clear, finances harder to hold on to. The momentum that should begin at your front door feels missing. Wealth-conscious homes understand this. They make lighting at the entrance non-negotiable. Whether it's a pair of soft golden sconces, a solar lantern, or a single warm overhead bulb, the goal is simple. Let your doorway breathe with light. Not the sterile glare of cold LEDs, but a calm, inviting glow that signals openness, safety, and alignment. Light says, "I'm home, I'm ready, come in." Placement matters too. Lights should shine toward the door or gently frame it. Avoid bulbs that flicker, buzz, or leave corners in shadow. If you want to enhance the effect, pair the light with natural reflectors, light-colored pots, crystal decor, or a pale welcome mat. These small adjustments magnify energy, turning a dark corner into an energetic beacon. There's also the emotional side. A lit entrance changes how you feel when you come home. You're not stepping into silence or obscurity, you're returning to something alive, something that acknowledges your arrival. That moment of transition, from the outside world to your personal space, becomes intentional, not accidental. And in Feng Shui, that's everything. Intention is energy. So if you've been wondering why luck seems slow to arrive or why the energy in your life feels dimmed, start by standing outside your house at night. What do you see? More importantly, what would luck see? Is your entrance visible, inviting, alive? Or is it lost in shadow, waiting to be noticed? Because here's the truth. Fortune doesn't knock in the dark. It looks for the door that's already lit. Most people spend their lives trying to change what's inside. Their habits, their mindset, their career, their bank account, without realizing that the most powerful shift often begins right outside their front door. Not in theory, not in intention, but in the space that welcomes your energy home each day and sends it back out each morning. Your entrance isn't just architecture, it's your threshold of alignment. And everything we've explored, direction, mirrors, plants, clutter, mats, symbols, light, it all speaks to one deeper truth. Your environment holds memory, it holds momentum, it holds messages. When your front door is neglected, misaligned, or unclear, that message becomes one of confusion, resistance, and missed opportunities. But when your entrance is intentional, lit with care, cleared of noise, aligned with your energy, it becomes an invitation. Not just for wealth, but for stability, for clarity, for the version of you that doesn't chase abundance, but receives it. This isn't mysticism, it's resonance. Science already understands that our surroundings shape behavior, mood, even neurological patterns. When the first thing you see as you leave your home is clutter, dullness, or shadow, your nervous system starts from a place of stress. When you return to a home with no symbolic welcome, your mind feels the weight of absence. But when you shift these elements, just a little, you create a new pattern, a cue of readiness, of balance, of grounded energy. Feng Shui at its core isn't about superstition or tradition. It's about partnership between you and your space, between your intention and your reality, between the physical and the energetic. And the front door is where that partnership begins, quietly, powerfully. So before you make another plan, another list, another leap, pause, step outside. Look at the door that guards your life, your family, your future. Then ask the one question that truly matters. Is this the kind of entrance that wealth would feel safe walking into and want to stay?